I would like to urge you to hang on today and watch the rest of this video. I touch on a really, really important point, something that I think is the key to all of this. You know, as I posted, that wasn't clickbait what I put on there about building a classic Mustang for under $10,000. A lot of people, you know, throw those things up because they're just trying to suck you into watching. I really am going to build this car for less than $10,000 or pretty close to it. I mean, you know, there's a couple of variables there that are hard to predict. And what I talk about today on Storytime with Colin is the difference between doing it this way and sending it out to be done, or doing a partial. Because you're not going to believe what it really costs to restore an automobile to original. And you know, we're not doing original here. I'm not painting underneath of this black. My 73 Mach's black underneath. You know, it turned out nice. It's very, you know, ho-hum like everybody else's. I'm painting the underneath of this car exactly the same color as the whole car. And we may detail a couple of spots in black. You know, obviously the rear end's gonna be black and that kind of thing. But, you know, in the front suspension system. But my intent is to paint this car complete, inside, out, underneath, the whole thing. And I'm gonna do a couple of cool little things to make it a little bit different. I'm trying to, you know, some people will say, oh, you're resto modding. I'm not. I'm personalizing it. I'm doing what I did when I was a kid and I bought a car and I wanted my car to be different than everybody else's. You know, I tweak things to make it my personal preference and to be a reflection of who I was. I mean, some people hung fuzzy dice from the rearview mirror and put fur in the back window. I'm not going to do that. But I am going to modernize it. I'm going to change some things inside it to make it, you know, a little cooler. And I'm going to try and make it so that a younger person today can connect with it by seeing things in it that they can associate with. And I think that's important. I mean, I'll give a little hint right now. Our deluxe door panels have a panel that goes in behind the handle. It's about yay long and it has a wood grain on it with a chrome trim. I bought some carbon fiber wrap and I'm gonna wrap it in carbon fiber and put the chrome trim back on. It steps it up a little bit. It kind of brings it into, you know, this day and age. And it's kind of a cool little accent. I'm also gonna put some carbon fiber on the dash. We're gonna paint the dash same color as the car in spots. We're gonna paint the underneath of the car the same color as the car. There's a lot of things we're gonna do to make this thing just a little bit cooler than your average, because let's face it, you buy a car, you pay a bunch of people to do some work, you either restore it to original or you do a good restoration where you paint the black underneath and you paint the outside and you buy your new panels and blah, blah, blah. And really, what have you got? You know, it boils down to, oh, look, that's not the right screw that you used there, or some stupid, ridiculous thing like that. That's not what the hobby's about. The hobby's about getting a car as cheap as you can, putting it back together in a creative way that makes it cooler than somebody else's, and personalize it to fit who you are as a person. That's why guys put, you know, 2.4s sticking out of the hood with blowers on them, because that's who they are. They want to say, hey, look at me, you know, I'm screaming horsepower. And other guys, you know, do other things. And maybe somebody, you know, would take this and put a Coyote in it. That's not in my budget. Would I like to do that? Yeah, it'd be fun to switch this over to fuel injection, put a Coyote, make it nice and clean in the engine compartment. I like that look. I see it at a lot of car shows. But that's not for me. That's not my budget. It's not what I'm doing. So stay tuned to the end. Story time with Colin is very, very important today. Please watch it. I boil it down to what it costs, what it actually costs to restore a car, and what I'm trying to restore a car for. And I talk about all of the in-betweens. And I think you'll learn something, and I think you'll enjoy the segment. All right, back at her. All right, down to here, that's another section done. Now we're gonna move and go a little farther, but we're getting there. I'm debating whether I should remove the project Bruno.
story time with Colin now. Come gather round and see. He shares the tales of days gone by for you and all to be. The memories, they come alive like stars up in the sky. Each moment shines so bright and clear, you'll feel like you were there. Listen close and you will find the magic in his mind. Every story takes you far, like chasing shooting stars.
Okay, as I always do, I'm thinking while I'm working. And, you know, I got a really nice comment from somebody about using, you know, what to do to treat the underside of this with port 15, and he mentioned a couple other things, and I'm sure that was 100% solid advice. Here's what I need you to know. This is not a video series or a channel that pits one thing, one process against another, that tells you, you know, I think this is right or I think that is right. My entire mantra is to build a classic car as cheaply as possible, personalize it so that it's mine, and drive it and enjoy it. It's not going to sit like a little queen in a, you know, in a temperature controlled garage. That's not what's going to happen. It's going to get stone chips, and it's going to go out and it's going to go places. I'm going to meet people, and I'm going to make memories, because that's what we're doing. We're making memories, and you don't make any memories with a trailer queen parked in the garage. So when I tell you, you know, I'm doing a process this way or that way, it's because what I'm trying to show you is that if you commit to some sweat equity, classic car hobby is a very affordable, easy thing to do on a part-time basis. I have a full-time job delivering auto parts. I'm still building this car, and half of my time goes on the car, and half of my time goes on making a YouTube channel so that I can give that message to you. So whatever process I use on this car and how I do it is not because I think it's the best way to do it. There's 1,000 videos out there with guys that do a much better job than me on telling you what works better than something else. If that's the route you want to go, watch those videos. Learn. Use those processes. Good for you. That's what I want you to do. I'm here to motivate you, and I'm here because there's a large segment of the population that don't get involved in this because they think these cars are out of reach. And that's just not true. And I'm hoping there's a lot of younger people than me watching this going, hey, not everything's a 67 fastback, and I can drive a classic Mustang, and I can build it just as cheap as I build a 1982, you know, square body pickup. And that's true. So for the guys that are doing the pickups and saying, well, I built this for 10 grand and look, I got an awesome truck. Good for you. If you wanted a truck, that's what I'm promoting. But you can do it with a classic car too. You may not get your pick of, you know, exactly what it is, but here, perfect example. 2 days ago, I'm on Facebook Marketplace. 1972 Mustang Coupe comes up. $2,500. The guy started the project. He's got a whole bunch of parts. Car looks easily restorable, but it is completely torn apart. It's in the middle of getting 2 brand new rear quarter panels on it. If I had the $2,500, I wouldn't even negotiate with him. I'd just go take it off his hands because it's well worth that. There's enough there that for another $7,500, I could have a driving car, right? So don't tell me they're not out there. I see them every 2-3 days. It was a 66 Shell for sale the other day, easily restorable, $700. Just go pick it up and get at her. Get at her. Giddy up. You can do this. You really can. It's a little bit of sweat equity. But if a fat old man like me can do this, anybody can do this. So that's your motivation tip for today. Stop whining. Stop saying, oh, you should have sandblasted that. Oh, you got to pour 15 that. Oh, you got to do this. Stop it. Really. Do what you want to do, which is in your budget. This car's not out getting dipped or sandblasted and then, sprayed, because it's not in the budget. It's that simple. And I've got, 2 hours in here today and an hour and a half, 2 hours the other night. I got 4 hours into this. And look where I'm at. I'm past the tranny mount. Now I'm into the rear seat section. And I'm going to come back in here with a hand sandblaster, and I'm going to get all the nooks and crannies and corners with a little compressor, because I just don't have my big compressor here. I don't have water here to hook up to my pressure washer so I can water blast it with sand. So I make do with what I've got. Instead of throwing money at the problem, I throw me at the problem. Because these hands can fix this. I don't need to be a rocket scientist to take a grinding wheel with a $30 attachment and do the whole bottom of the car. That's it. There's the cost. $30. That's it. 90% of the bottom of the car is going to get done. That's your motivation for today. There's your rant and your speech. Get at her.
Every storm he takes you far, like chasing shooting stars.
Okay, I'm just going to show you here how easy it is to deal with some of these dents. There. And there we go. Gone. There's a lot more little things to do. I got dents here and there. So we'll get there. We'll get there.